I'm going to share my favorite reads from the past 3 months. My previous favorite reads video was covering the books that I had read from January through March, and I'll link that video below. So now I'm going to cover the 3-month period that was April through June, and this time around it was much harder to put together a favorites list. Not only did I read more books this time around, I read just so many books that I absolutely adore, but I did narrow down that list, so let's get started. At number 5 is On the Edge of Gone by Corinne Duyvis. And this is set in a very specific apocalyptic moment. So our main character, Denise, she and her mother are fleeing on the day of the impact of an asteroid, and they're trying to get to a shelter, and it's when they encounter a generation ship that hasn't left yet. And so they want to get on the generation ship because it's the best chance for survival through the asteroid impact and for the life afterwards. And so they try to get on, but you need to have some demonstrated practical skill to contribute to the ship. And Denise is worried about this, particularly because she has autism. And our main character has autism, also our author has autism, so it's also a side note on Voices book. And it's really a fascinating point of view. It's really, like, Denise's voice is really fresh and engaging, and I really enjoyed that part. So, like, overall, that very narrow, specific time frame of an apocalyptic moment, and then combined with Denise's really incredibly fresh viewpoint, it was such a fascinating book. Now, moving along to number 4, we have Within the Sanctuary of Wings by Brennan, and this is the 5th and final book in the Lady Trent memoir series. It's set in a fantasy Victorian era, and in this Lady Trent, who is in her older years a preeminent dragon researcher, she in these volumes tells the stories of her younger self. Each volume covers an anthropological adventure that led to some sort of important dragon research that she contributed to the field. And in this particular volume, it recounts the tale of her perhaps most notorious adventure into what she discovers in the Sanctuary of Wings. So it's really fascinating, and I just really adore the perspective of this told of an older established woman telling the story of her younger self and through the trouble she had in the emerging dragon science field, and also the issue she had with an oppressed Victorian society that didn't believe that women should really even be heard, let alone be scientists. And throughout, the younger Lady Trent is very practical with dealing both with the practical sides of science, but also with the sexism of her time. And what I like the best about these books is the tone that it's told in. It is 100% unsentimental and is done just so well. I really enjoyed the writing of this. So each book is solid. I recommend the whole series, and it's all out now, so you can go binge on the whole thing. Moving along to number 3 on the list, we have Giant Days, which is written by John Allison. It has art by Sarin and Lissa Treiman, and this has the most endearing cast of characters of any comic I have read. And our main characters are Susan, Esther, and Daisy, and they start this series as incoming freshmen to the University of Sheffield. And despite their differing personalities, they become fast friends. And it's a very realistic book about young women at university, but it's never boring. And despite that fairly simple premise, it's university students doing university student things. It's executed so well with really brilliant writing and art. So I just really love the characters. I love their friendship and their antics, and it's one of my favorite comic series. Now on to number 2 on this list. It's You Can't Touch My Hair by Phoebe Robinson, and this book is just the funniest book I have read all year. So very funny. It's an essay collection. It's about race and gender and pop culture. The book is smart, it is hilarious, so really just go read it. Now, I think we've made it to number 1 on our list, and that is the Missionaries, or Missionaries of Empire. I think that's what the series is called. It's by Yoon Lee. The first book is Ninefox Gambit. The second book is Raven Stratagem. And this is set in a really crazy world. So I think that reality is upheld by high order math systems and also societies like consensus with rituals that uphold the effects of reality. It's really crazy and alien. So you really drop in at the beginning of the series to this totally incomprehensible world. So it's equal parts confusing but also really intriguing, and the payoff is immense. It's very rewarding to read through this book. So our main characters, they are Charis and Judao, and Charis is a soldier, and importantly she has a talent for math. And then Judao, interestingly, he is an imprisoned immortal ghost general. He's the most brilliant tactician the Empire has ever had, and there's a little flaw, big flaw actually, is that during his last battle as a living general, he not only massacred the enemy, but he also killed his own army, and so the Empire took his life and imprisoned him as a weapon to be deployed as needed. And so together, Charis and Judao, they fight this battle in Ninefox Gambit against heretics, and the heretics are trying to set up a new math system, so like a new reality. And into the next book, Raven Stratagem, they continue their space military life, but importantly in the second book we get an introduction to the long-term strategy that Judao has and deploys. It's really a thrilling, exciting book. I love spending time in this world. The world building is incredible. I love the characters. The writing is phenomenal. And I'm so bummed that there's only going to be 3 books. It's only going to be a trilogy, which is so sad because it's like an amazing, amazing series. And with that, that concludes the list of my top 5 favorite reads of the past quarter. Hope you enjoyed. Till next time, my lovelies.